right?
This was a piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Right on. So this is Dee Dee, and welcome, Dee Dee. We're going to do a little testimonial today about your experiences with me from the past, in the present, your experiences with your granddaughter, and I'll let you take it away.
Where do I begin?
How about we begin with yesterday? Yesterday, yes, we were going to do this yesterday, and we ended up doing a session. Can you talk about your session yesterday?
So you worked on quite a few different things with me. One of them was my sinuses, which have been actually at times I've been using Nasonex 2 puffs 2 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't needed it. My sinuses are cleared up. We had air come through my ears. I can hear again. Okay. I slept like a baby last night. I
The
what
interesting thing with the ears, we worked on your eustachian tubes, and the eustachian tubes go from the ears to the back of the throat. And I had never experienced, when I would inhale, I could feel the air in my ears as I was inhaling. That was incredible.
it was, and that's it's like confirmation. You knew, wow, that really opened up, right?
Yeah.
And and I had been waking up every morning with this plugged up nose, and it's not like that, and it's way better than the Nasonex, which wasn't really doing anything, but whatever.
Yeah.
That
It's
answer
all
I
we
was
knew.
okay. Anyway, okay, so then the other interesting thing is, so when I say to you, I have probably urinated every 45 minutes, just like so much coming out of me, okay? But also when we worked on some past life stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was laying in bed last night and I was thinking about this, the fact that I've urinated so much, right? And all of a sudden I pictured myself a much skinnier person than I have been in the past, in this past life. Okay. Now, mind you, I have been losing weight, but it was like the realization of me and this present body
Yeah.
with all of that armor that I need to have on
Wow.
was just phenomenal. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was, I think did did I cover everything that I told you before?
Well, you went even farther. Yeah. And with the urination, does it feel like you're actually getting complete release? Like you're emptying your bladder?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you're releasing not only toxins, but you're actually releasing the water that you've been holding in relation to that armor that you've had on.
And then also you worked on my pelvic floor too.
Yeah.
So I think that, um, as you get a little older, it just doesn't work the same, especially when you were a nurse for 40 years, right? And you didn't get to go to the bathroom.
And is it getting older, or is it the fact that we shove a whole bunch of stuff in there and then we get injuries and stuff and all those things are never addressed? And then we just think, well, I'm getting older, so this is
That's
just what I have to deal with.
absolutely, that's, and you know what? That's confirmation to the message that I got when I got that I was skinnier, is that my age is really kind of only a number.
Yeah.
It's what I'm thinking about myself as an age. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And I have to say, you look 10 years younger today than you did the
I feel it. I really feel it. Okay. I'm going to talk about my granddaughter.
Okay.
So the first time you saw my granddaughter, she had really bumped her forehead, just like fallen face first in the concrete. And she was having a lot of anger,
Mhm.
which I know from head injuries, because
Yep.
that's what happens
Yep.
personally. And there was a difference, definitely. But then shortly after that, maybe it was 2 weeks later or whatever, She witnessed me fall and break my arm. And then there were 3 dogs. It was New Year's Eve, and now there's only 2 dogs. So there was a dog attack. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
But Mama was involved in that, and she was hysterical. And after that, she was really acting out, hitting everybody, screaming and yelling, bossy, just cantankerous. Okay.
Yeah.
So I said, when do we need to take her back? So that night, she just kept yawning. She must have yawned 75 times. But it wasn't like, your typical open your mouth and yawn kind of thing. It was more like a release of energy. And she said to me, Nana, I keep yawning. And I said, it's not really yawning, right? It's getting rid of energy. And then she even yawned while she was sleeping because she slept in with me that night. That was really interesting. All night long, she yawned. And then the next day, she desperately wanted me to go outside in the snow and build a snowman. Of course, we have to sing, I want to build a snowman, right?
Yep.
Because she's really frozen right now. Anyway, she was so upset because I said, I only have one hand and it's very icy and I don't feel comfortable doing that. She melted at the front door and was having the same kind of emotional release that she had equivalent to when she watched the dogs. Okay. It was a howling, almost kind of deep soul cry. It was just awful.
Yeah.
And I came and I sat next to her on the floor by the front door. And I said, Adelaide, I just want you to know that I'm here. She cried for maybe a minute more or whatever. And then she threw herself in my lap and she said, Nana, I love you. And then about 10 minutes later, she came in and she said, I was laying on the bed. And she said, thank you, Nana. I feel so much better. You could see a physical difference in her. Okay. And then about 10 minutes later, she came in and she said, now she's only 3. So she came in and she said to me, I'm sorry, Nana, for acting like that. And then we were able to talk about releasing and that everybody can kind of get angry and whatever, right? And she understood it all. Mm-hmm. Now, Mommy tells me this morning, she's like the same girl she was before all of this. Sweet, loving, helpful, kind, no hitting going on. And she says she's an absolute delight. And when I tell you, there were days that we both were like scratching our head, what are we going to do with this girl? She's just so angry. Mm-hmm. And she's just back being her little loving self. It's actually very phenomenal.
And she is a sweetie, genuine, just a sweetie. And it's such a bummer when you see a child or a person who is genuinely happy and sweet make that shift from a traumatic experience.
It was really obvious to me that something had gone on both times, head injury and with this dog thing, that something had gone on because it flipped her personality so much. Right. And she is just mellow and sweet and just wonderful. It's just kind of amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you. And so are you for being able to talk to your granddaughter and say, hey, this is what's going on. And she's amazing for you being able to listen to you and understand.
I dropped my phone.
Whoa, that was crazy.
So then I think I should also address 12 years ago, or I can't remember.
Yeah.
When I was injured and got a head injury and a spinal cord injury. And at that time I came to you because I had no feeling from my knees down to my feet and I kept falling all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think I did 10 sessions with you. Right. And I could feel my feet again. I could continue to do my job. I started to enjoy my life again because I was really worried, about the progression of this and what would happen. And you gave me back my life. we did a lot of work, a lot of deep work, a lot of body work, a lot of different things, and it
Yeah.
was just really phenomenal what you did for me then, and what you continue to do.
Well, yeah, back then I really I didn't know my true gifts. I was a rolfer. I was following the rolfing protocol, and the rolfing protocol works. But as I've stepped in my gift and integrated my knowledge from my training as a rolfer and a massage therapist and the host of other things that I've taken and read and mostly experienced within my own self, so that I have a more truer understanding of what you guys are telling me. This is my experience. Okay, how can I relate that to something that I've experienced? How can I understand this better? And if I don't understand it, hey, can you help me understand more so that we can make a better connection energetically and help you quicker, more efficiently, with less effort on both of our parts, right? We want
Hmm.
it to be effortless. And that's what I love working about kids is they know when they hurt, and they're going to tell you when they hurt. They're going to act out, they're going to cry. And this goes for the same with like animals. Oh, they're just doing that to get a rile out of me. They're not. They're just speaking their truth, right? And we need to learn how to listen. So great job being a listener and saying, hey, what do we need to do to repair this situation?
Well, I remember a specific moment 12 years ago when you were working on my neck and consequently found all sorts of past lives and current life neck issues. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I got very dysregulated and really panicky. And you said to me, well, hang on just a minute. And you went down to my feet and you're like, I'm going to calm this down a little bit, right? And I have said this story to so many people. There's a feeling you get when you're laying on the beach and the sun is like beating down on your body. And it's just, to me, that's a beautiful place. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you made me feel on the inside of my body. It was like sunshine on the inside of my body. It immediately calmed me down. And it was just this powerful, powerful moment. And it also helped me to understand energy, healing yourself, healing, after 40 years of being, 47 years of being in nursing. Okay. I kind of was more modern medicine,
Right.
and this just opened up a whole avenue of understanding for me.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wow. I haven't heard that. You've told me bits of it, but I've never heard the actual, this is exactly what happened. That's
I ended up taking
gonna
a
teach me how.
holistic nursing course after that, and just opening my awareness up so much more.
Wonderful. Yay. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to step into your true self like I've been able to do for myself and continue working on, so that you can spread the happiness and the joy and the sunshine on the beach to others around you.
Well, and even when I took your I Love Myself group, I guess that was this week. Um,
Yeah.
you teach me things about how to work on my own self by the things that you're making us aware of. And I've
Right.
taken it into my meditation, and it's been, I mean, it's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that, or oh, of course I can do this. I mean, it was, but it's the awareness that you gave me of a lot of that. So I
Awesome.
appreciate that. Even, I mean, I phenomenal. Okay.
Well, it was like yesterday, we tried to, or I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before, it doesn't matter. But we tried to shoot a video and nothing was working. And it's like the universe is saying, you need to help Dee Dee. And this is how I'm going to help you realize that this needs to be done. And when we started talking about grounding, oh yeah, I'm grounded all the time. I connect to the earth, but you couldn't say the words. And what are the words?
I'm present here now. and in my body.
Yes, you are. And right now in this moment, right? Whereas it took a good 20, 25 minutes for you to actually remember what the words were. And the words are very simple to the conscious mind. But on that subconscious is where we want to work to make those shifts. It's hard when we've been ungrounded for so long and working more on a superficial layer.
And I have, you said it's supposed to be kind of a mantra, right? And so
Mhm.
I've been saying it to myself over and over and over again. And I do remember it, which, well, before it was like, I can't remember 4 words.
Right?
That was hard to imagine, right?
That's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. And
And you also talked about the importance of, with my grandchildren, because they are very sensitive children, to make sure that I am grounded. And I talked with my daughter about that today too. And she's like, oh, I really get that.
yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And we all, doesn't matter if you're sensitive or not, we all appreciate when another person around us is grounded, especially if we're trying to communicate or do a job or even walking through the grocery line. You know, if you can come through the grocery line grounded, you might very well be helping that person who's been there for a 6 or 8 hour shift feel better so that they can go home more energized instead of being depleted.
I like that. Helping others just by staying grounded.
We're helping others by being selfish for ourselves, taking care of ourselves. Yes, there's nothing wrong with being selfish and taking care of yourself because that energy just percolates outside.
I can't think if there's anything else that I need to.
I think that's a good ending.
Oh, I guess I could say that we went back quite a few lifetimes and worked on some things. And
Yeah, actually, let's expand on that, right? Because we did a past life regression, and I only learned that I had this ability months ago. And you had a past life regression in the past. You want to expand on your experience with that and how it was different working with it yesterday?
well, I remember the thing that sort of set me off when you turned me yellow inside was you were working on my neck, and there were things that had happened in this lifetime
Mm-hmm.
that we went through, okay,
Yeah.
or talked about or worked on, whatever. And but it wasn't until I did some past life regression stuff that I realized that I had been someone who had their neck cut off,
Mm-hmm.
um, guillotined or whatever, but it didn't work the first time and it had to be done twice. Talk about pain, okay?
Right.
Reliving that was very, uh, very profound, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, when we worked back to that lifetime, I can say to you that my neck feels different. But the other part of that is that story is no longer my story. I got, I don't even feel that remnant,
Yeah.
though it's good to acknowledge that and to know that
Mm-hmm.
it's just not, it's not, it's not relevant to who I am at this moment
Right.
because I'm in this moment, right?
Right. Exactly. And and that goes if you believe in past life or genetic passed down stuff, it doesn't matter if we even think about stuff that we learned in this lifetime in our past and we don't release that energetic and that emotional attachment to it, then that is constantly playing a movie in the back in your subconscious. And as you get more and more of those movies all intertwined, that's why we get overwhelmed. That's why we can't remember stuff. That's why our memory goes away because we've got all these movies playing all at once. And as we release the energetic and emotional attachment to the different movies and let them just be a movie that is just someplace else. You can bring it up again if you want to, but I don't need to. But if there's a really good movie that you really find strength and power in, like Point Break, and you feel you know what? I want to feel good today. I'm going to turn on Point Break and I'm going to relive my glory days with Johnny Utah and Boda Zeppa, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you turn it off when you're done and don't leave it playing in the background so that you can, again, be what? Present here, now, and in the moment. Exactly. So when you do any work on yourself, whether you go back in time or way back in time, we do our tapping, we acknowledge what it is, what emotions are coming up, what's the story? Can I give myself permission to release this story? So it's not a part of this energetic self, this physical self that I am right now.
I think it was interesting for me because you asked me a few questions about how I was feeling, and yet I thought I was better, which was incrementally a little bit better, and that was an improvement, right? But it wasn't the same depth of improvement that once you had me doing the tapping, that I was able to feel how much more deeper that went.
Yeah. Yeah. And we
And,
tap
when
so
you
that we hold on to it so it stays.
and you talked about my tightness in my chest, which I realized I'd gotten so used to that I really didn't know what that release felt like until you took me to that place. So now I noticed I got a little anxious about something yesterday, and I just started, doing what you taught me how to do. And it was like, okay, I felt the difference.
And we're going to get anxious. We're going to get sad. We're going to get angry. Can we catch it before we start swimming in it and it becomes overwhelmed and connects to old stuff? And now I can't do it anymore. Can we catch ourselves and say, oh, I got some tools. Here it is. This is what it brought up. And
It felt easier, less deep. Does that make sense?
yeah.
More
Yeah.
surface. Oh, okay, I can get rid of this really easily because we already did so much of that other work that it's not connecting to that.
Exactly. That's perfect. Wonderful. Yeah, that past life and the genetic stuff, it's really interesting what our cells and our energy are holding on to. Even from time in utero and from the moment we're born, we're constantly receiving input. And that's why I believe personally, that's why it's like you said, oh yeah, I feel better, right? And so we drop down from a 10 to a 9 or a 6, like you said yesterday. But a 6 really isn't better. We want to be just present here now in the moment. And so that happens a lot when we get a massage. Yeah, I feel great in a massage, but we went and got a massage because we were in a car accident. So how do we get home after a massage? We jump in our car and our subconscious goes, here we go again, because now I got that steering wheel in my hand and I'm sitting in the exact same position. So the massage might be amazing, but your subconscious goes in the freak out again. So what if we could actually work on you while you're in that incident all over again, bringing in the colors and the sounds and for the 50s song, the screaming tires, the busting glass, the painful screams that I heard last, right? We've got to bring all of that back in and heal all of it so that when you get in your car and you go by that stoplight that was green, but over here wasn't, you don't go and slow down because you're afraid that's going to happen again. That unconscious, okay, now I got to go 45 in a 75-mile-an-hour zone. That's not safe for anybody. So we've got to get that clearing out of there so that traumatic incident, you don't take it forward and make your life miserable or unhappy or disconnected or have the inability of being present here now in the moment, no matter what you're doing.
So if we're present here now and in the moment, then those past things wouldn't bother us as we pull up to the red stoplight or stop sign or whatever, because we're in the now. We're not
Right.
about, oh, this is what happened to me 5 years ago, 10 lifetimes ago, whatever. Yeah,
Exactly.
I can
Yeah.
really feel that.
It's that story. And we're
Mhm.
releasing that attachment to all of the stories, because you might even see a car accident on TV. And now I'm stressed out and ticked off. And now I got to go make dinner. And now I'm ticked off while I'm making dinner. Well, dinner's not going to taste as good, is it? But if we can make dinner coming from happiness and, oh, that was just a movie, it's no big deal. Wow, dinner's really good tonight. Yeah.
You're amazing.
Thank you. It's been a long journey and it's still continuing though.
I'm, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going down to Vegas this weekend for a hypnotherapy seminar to learn more and educate myself more and hopefully heal myself more, so that everything that I am working on manifesting and coming true comes true without the effort. I mean, I still want to put effort into it. Obviously, I do want things handed to me, but I still want to put forth the work.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, Dee Dee, thank you so much. And man, you look so much different today. And you
Thank
feel
you.
so much different.
Thank you so much for helping me and my family.
You're very welcome. I
I'm a
appreciate
better grandma. My grandkids are going to have an easier time too, because I have them 2 days normally.
it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Dee Dee.
Now I have to figure out how to turn it off.